everyone, welcome back to my channel, All About Ash. Before we jump to today's video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. But in today's video, we are going to be answering some relaxed hair questions and comments. I'm going to be sharing some of my tips and tricks. So if you guys want to see how I answer some of these questions, then just keep on watching. Okay, so let's just jump right into these questions. Pretty much all I did was just go through all my comments and just see what kind of stood out to me. So I screenshotted a couple. We probably have about like 7 that we can go through. So random order, I'm just gonna go through these questions. The first question I have, and if I'm looking this way, it's because I'm reading it off of my computer. But the first question is, how do you keep your relaxed hair healthy underneath sew-ins? My relaxed hair broke off severely when I had a sew-in. So I feel like the health of your hair underneath protective styles, braided styles like a sew-in or just whatever type of style like that. First of all, it really depends on who's braiding your hair. I feel like my hair has experienced some breakage in the past, like when taking out braids. And I feel like that really depends on who's doing it. If your braids are too tight, I can really see how that could cause some breakage or damage. But what I personally like to do is just kind of treat my hair as if I normally would to the best extent that I can. I already kind of created a video of how I maintain my sew-ins. I'll pop it in right here and also leave it linked down below. But I like to wash my hair weekly with the sew-in. I kind of treat it as if it's my natural hair. One thing I really like to do is oil my scalp, and recently, I think it was with my last sew-in, I showed you guys how I got these little needle tip bottles so that you can kind of like go in between your braids and still oil your scalp, which was a huge game changer for me because my hair tends to get, or my scalp tends to get really dry underneath braided styles. So this really helped a lot, but just try to give your hair as much love and care as you can while it's underneath the sew-in. As far as my actual leave out, I would moisturize and seal every now and then. Not as often because usually with a sew-in, my hair would be straightened to some point. But usually like that first wash day, you know, give it a little bit of moisture, put a little bit of oil on it. And I would still put oil around my edges just because I feel like that's a delicate area. Try to stick to your routine as well as you can. I know you can't access all of your hair, but especially your leave out, the parts that you can, make sure you kind of keep that as normal as you normally would. But yeah, so I would just really say stuff like maybe a moisturizing conditioner spray, things like that. Really try to access your braids as much as you can. So that's why I really like this bottle, because I feel like I was still caring for my hair that was braided up underneath my sew-in to an extent. But yeah, I would say just try to stick to your normal routine as best as you can. I feel like I keep on saying that. I feel like that just helps a lot when you're putting your hair up for kind of an extended amount of time. Okay, so I also forgot to mention some of these are just kind of comments. I just kind of want to reply to them. So these are like replying to relaxed hair questions / comments. So the next one's actually a comment. They said, "You are made for short hair. Hope you're keeping it." I really appreciate this comment because I love having short hair so much. I felt like, I don't know, a lot of people kind of didn't want me to cut my hair when I first did it the first time around. And that was like people on the internet, but also that included people that were close to me. A lot of my friends and family were kind of like, you shouldn't cut your hair. Like, why would you want to cut it? But I feel like I've always kind of wanted a bob, so I've really been enjoying it. I really see myself keeping it for a while, honestly. I just have to keep on cutting it, which is fine with me. But yeah, I just love how when I straighten my hair and I wear my hair out, it's an actual style. I feel like it's easy to maintain because it's not as much hair. That's one thing. Like, the longer and thicker your hair gets, of course it's more to deal with, but yeah, I just feel like short hair is so easy. Whenever I wash it and just let it air dry, it kind of air dries a lot quicker. Still, of course, in the middle, it's a lot more dense and thick, so that takes a little bit while to dry. But I just love how my hair is a style. Like, I don't have to curl it to achieve a style or do something to it to achieve a style. Like, the bob is the style, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I appreciate that comment because I like the bob. Like, I don't see myself getting rid of it anytime soon. But anyways, next question. How many weeks post-relaxer were you before you got this sew-in? Like, how long should someone wait to avoid breakage? I don't remember exactly how long post-relaxer I was with my previous sew-in, but the advice I would have when getting a sew-in when being relaxed is just make sure you have a little bit amount of new growth. That's just kind of my go-to rule when it comes to any kind of protective style. I'm not gonna get a sew-in or braids, anything like that, 2 weeks after getting a relaxer. I feel like that's just a little bit too fresh. I just like to make sure that my hair has a little bit of new growth, so like when you're actually braiding your hair, like the roots have something to kind of grip to instead of just your freshly pressed relaxed hair. That's just my advice. I feel like everyone's hair is different. It also depends on how processed your hair is. Like if you're kind of relaxed, I would definitely say, you know, wait until you see a little bit of new growth. If you're Texlax or something like that, I feel like you can maybe do it a little bit sooner, but really just pay attention to your hair. I just personally wouldn't put fresh braids on a fresh relaxer. So yeah, I'd say like at least a month or something. I think that's a good amount of time to where you have a little bit of new growth. A month and a half, just whatever works for your hair. Next question is, how often do you use the dry shampoo? So you guys know that lately I've been using dry shampoo a little bit more often. That's mainly been when I have straightened my full head of hair, just wearing my bob out. And I just feel like dry shampoo just helps to extend the life of your style of your straightened hair a lot. So I've really been using dry shampoo more often. I remember I used to think like dry shampoo just wasn't for us, but I was definitely wrong. You can definitely find some good dry shampoos that will cater to our hair texture and our hair type. But I usually use a dry shampoo probably like starting 5 days to like a week after I wash my hair. Just depends like when my hair starts to get oily. When my hair first initially gets oily, I don't use it, but it's like when I'm trying to wear that style out, I'm noticing that like by the roots it's kind of oily. It just feels like it's kind of all together and limp. That's when I'll start using my dry shampoo. I'll probably use it for maybe, I don't know, 3-4 days before I actually wash my hair. Again, it depends on where I'm at, where I'm going, what kind of style I'm doing. If I'm putting my hair like in a ponytail like this and my hair is oily, I'll just use like a little bit of dry shampoo on the top. If I'm wearing my hair all out, it's probably like those last kind of 3-4 days. But also you can't use dry shampoo too much to revive your hair. At a certain point, you're just gonna know that it's time to wash your hair, because it's just kind of like maintenance in between. It's not gonna give you that 100% freshly clean, washed, flowy look, if that makes sense, hopefully. Okay, next question. This one's a little long, but to pretty much sum it up, she's asking, how do I cut my clip-in extensions, because she's had a hard time cutting hers. They come out kind of uneven and choppy. I was trying to see if I had one laying around. Let me actually just get a clip-in for demonstration purposes. So if you guys have been keeping up my videos, mainly the videos around me cutting my hair into a bob, when I first cut it, my front pieces were a little bit shorter than the pieces in the back, so I was just taking a clip-in. These are my butter length clip-ins. So this one's a little bit wide, but I like to use the kind of one clip ones. You guys can see that this has two. Pretty much all I would do is kind of part my hair right in the middle, clip this down, and of course it'll be straight, and I would just cut the clip-in to match the back length of my hair so that my front and my back are the same length, and it just looks a lot more neat and uniformed and together. And I would just kind of pick it up. I don't want any of my actual hair, and I would do a general chop, see kind of where I'm at. And what I really like to do to kind of line it up, I'll take a comb like this, and I'll just kind of, it's kind of hard to hold this because it's not clipped into my hair, but I just kind of line it up, and then right at the bottom of the comb I will just cut it. So I just use the comb as like a straight guide so that it'll match the length in the back. But yeah, I just kind of like eyeballed it, use my comb as kind of a guide, and I just cut it straight across. Super easy, super simple, and I feel like it really helped to kind of even out my bob all around. Okay, next question. I'm natural and I made the decision to relax my hair after 2 to 3 years, but I'm kind of scared that the relaxer will damage my hair if I don't do it right. I'm still going to try it. By the way, please, is there any tips you can give me? So, I feel like if you're not too sure about relaxing your own hair, I would 100% say get someone else to do it. Go to a professional, get someone that you trust. Relaxing your hair it can be a tedious and kind of detailed process. So you don't want to be playing around in your own head. Your hair will over-process. You'll process more areas more than others, which can happen, but I feel like it can happen a lot more drastically if you do it yourself and you're not really sure what you're doing. I am not even confident relaxing my whole head of hair by myself, even just doing relaxer touch-ups. I just feel like, I don't know if that's something I'll ever do by myself. We will see. It definitely helps having someone else be able to see your full head of hair, especially when you're working in the back of your hair. So I feel like if you aren't really sure, go to a professional. That I feel like is always going to be your best bet. I do have some tips when it comes to relaxing my own hair, but if you go to a professional, they might have their own methods and ways of doing it. But one I will definitely say is follow Hairlicious Relax Hair Routine. I will have like maybe your thumbnail right here, or I'll link it down below. But she has always recommended kind of coating your hair first and then twisting it up and making sections. At first I was kind of like, you know what, I'm just going to put it on my new growth, I can see it. And then I start actually parting it into those sections and coating my hair with conditioner and oil. And I feel like that really is a game changer. First, it helps you move a lot faster since you have those pre-parted sections. And two, it really helps you to prevent relaxer runoff and relaxer overlap, which is something you really want to avoid if you can. You don't want to relax your previously relaxed hair. That's really just going to lead to overlap processing and it's going to affect the whole look, feel, and health of your hair. But her tips I feel like have really helped me. Again, I didn't start off following her routine to the T, but now I'm like really starting to take her tips more into consideration, and I can definitely see how it will help, and I feel like it will really help if you want to relax your own hair by yourself. So yeah, I will link her video or her channel actually, because she has so many tips that I feel like are so good. She's really knowledgeable on the subject. Yeah, I feel like if you're at the end of the day, if you're just not too confident about being able to do it by yourself, I would go to professional. Okay, next question. Are you supposed to apply leave-in conditioner to relax hair, or is it not necessary? I would say you definitely can apply leave-in conditioner to all types of hair. I just feel like that depends on your hair routine, what you like to do with your hair and what products you like to use. I typically don't use leave-in conditioner because I usually use deep conditioners and I process it underneath my soft bonnet caps, so I feel like my hair gets a lot of the nutrients and moisture from that. I don't really feel a need to go in with more conditioner after that's rinsed out, but I feel like everyone's hair is different. If you're finding that your hair is still a little bit dry after you wash all of your conditioner out, then yeah, a leave-in conditioner could be good for you. But yeah, it's definitely okay to use leave-in conditioner on relaxed hair. Again, I just feel like it's up to your hair type and your routine, and everyone at the end of the day I feel like knows what their hair needs. Products I might use and love, you guys might hate, vice versa, or something that really works for my hair might not work for y'all's hair or anyone else's. So yeah, it's definitely okay. I guess it just depends on your routine and what you like for your hair. Okay, last two questions. So this one is, how do you keep your relaxed hair moisturized while it's in a protective style like this? And how often do you have to moisturize your hair in this protective style? So the protective style that they're referring to was the braids that I got last year when I went to Italy. So again, I will mention this little needle tip bottle that I put oil in. This helps so much to just kind of go through my braids and just access my scalp and just really make sure that was good. I feel like that helped me so much. Like I said, when my hair is braided up, it just tends to get really dry and itchy. So that relieved that feeling, and I felt like it helped to keep my scalp moisturized. And again, I really make sure that I care for my edges in that state. That is a very delicate part of your hair. You always want to make sure you're kind of catering to your edges, especially in a style that involves braids or is just pulling your hair back a little bit. But I feel like that was the biggest thing that I did. I noticed that it helped me out so much, because for a while I would just be scratching my hair with the end of a comb, but once I started oiling it, especially with these type of bottles where I could really access my scalp, it was like a game changer. It really did help to relieve that itchy feeling, and I just felt like it helped the overall health of my hair. Also, Africa Best has a product, I believe it's like their braid something spray. I don't remember it off the top of my head and I don't have it around me. I'll put a picture on the screen, but this is also good to like moisturize your hair that's actually braided in between the braids. So you can spray that on your scalp and all through your braids, so you're applying a little bit of moisture to your hair, and then you can go over that with oil to kind of moisturize and seal your hair the best way you can, even though it's kind of braided up. So when you have a braided style, I would just say try to give it a lot of moisture and oil just to prevent dryness, but also to keep your hair moisturized and prevent breakage as much as you can. Okay, last question. It is, your hair is gorgeous, thank you. I'm relaxed but my hair won't grow past my shoulders. Do you have any tips for growing relaxed hair? So our hair is always growing unless like something else is going on. So the biggest tip I have on retaining length is moisturizing and sealing. That is a game changer. Even for me personally, you guys know, I tell you guys all the time, when I'm not on my routine, I notice a difference in the overall health of my hair, but also when it's time for my next trim. I can tell if I've been on top of my moisturizing and sealing based off of how my ends are looking. That's just really going to prevent your hair from breaking off so that you can see that length. If your hair is constantly breaking off, it's going to feel like your hair isn't growing because you're not seeing any length. That's why it's really important to moisturize your ends and seal them with oil so that you prevent breakage and you can actually retain length. That is the biggest game changer to me personally. I feel like moisturizing and sealing, deep conditioning, and how you wear your hair the most often are the three biggest things that I see personally. I might be forgetting one that really help with retaining length. Moisturizing and sealing is going to help your hair from breaking off. Deep conditioners, you're giving your hair the nutrients that it needs. And the way you wear your hair, that can also lead to breakage. So if I wear my hair like this every single day, I might see some breakage back here because it's always in a ponytail. So even myself, I probably need to switch it up a little bit more. You're always putting heat on your hair, you know, things like that. But my biggest one, if you really want to see length, moisturizing and sealing. Just try it for like every day, every other day for like a month, and you're going to see a difference in the overall health and look of your hair. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the questions. If you guys have any more questions about relaxed hair or anything that I've used, any products, anything like that, make sure you guys link it in the description box down below. And also, if you have any tips or suggestions for any of the questions that I answered today, leave that down in the comments below too, and we can all kind of like share tips and tricks, things like that. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys liked it, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.